last time you paid a visit to the dentist? Are you among persons who wait until something is terribly wrong with your teeth before running to the dentist? Hope these questions have caught your attention as expected. Hello and welcome to Health Options. I am Rabi, Abdallah. Our focus on this episode of the program is oral health and the importance of oral hygiene. This is against the scientifically proven evidence that a healthy mouth and a healthy body go hand in hand. Maintaining a healthy mouth, experts say, is crucial to keeping it functioning correctly and for maintaining overall health and quality of life. In 2012, Nigeria developed a national health policy which included plans to provide ideal oral health care to more than half of the country's population through awareness. The economic cost of a mere toothache could be huge. The minimum standards for primary health care in the country require that each facility contain an oral care section with basic dental care facilities and consumables. How well have we fared in that regard? Answers to these and many other issues that will be raised as we discuss oral health and the importance of oral hygiene. You will also get to find out if you have been using the right toothbrush and brushing your teeth correctly. You are watching Health Options, and our focus is oral health and the importance of oral hygiene. And joining me in the studio to take us through the discussion is the Director, Head of Dentistry, Federal Ministry of Health, Dr. Boladale Alonge. Welcome to Health Options, Dr. Alonge.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I would like you to start by telling us what one seems to be saying at the mention of oral health and oral hygiene.
Well, oral health is a state of the well-being without pain of the mouth, the oral cavities, the facial tissues, and other structures, even going down to the throat. Those are the more recent definitions of oral health. You can simply define that as oral health. There are no limitations to the normal functions of the oral cavity, such as smiling, eating, chewing, and other things.
What about oral hygiene?
Well, oral hygiene is just a little aspect, where you're just like hygiene. That's the hygiene of the mouth.
Cleanliness.
Oral, yeah. Okay. Oral is mouth. Hygiene is hygiene. Yeah.
So it's about keeping the mouth clean.
Yes,
and healthy.
Because oral hygiene is important because it controls a lot of other. It's a major factor that controls a lot of oral diseases, especially the gum diseases that you will call periodontal diseases, and the dental caries, which are simply that's hole inside the tooth. That's the hard tissue.
Okay, so what are some of the consequences of neglecting oral hygiene? And I would equally like you to take us through some of those common oral health issues.
Oral hygiene is important to a lot of oral diseases. And then, of course, number one is gum diseases, which are more common in this part of the world. That we call them periodontal diseases. And, then the dental caries, which are which is hole inside the tooth. And then more recently, NOMA. Oral hygiene is also a major factor. NOMA is a devastating destruction of the facial tissues. It's called the face of poverty. Oral hygiene is also a very important factor. So we must make sure our oral hygiene is in good condition. And there are some researches recently that shows that pregnancy outcomes are affected by oral health. So when there is poor oral hygiene, we found that some researches have, shown that there are usually, worse outcomes in the babies and the mothers at term.
So that's why pregnant women are expected to prioritize oral hygiene when they are in that state.
Yeah. Okay. Visit their oral health facility as much as possible.
Okay. I I don't know. I know that you as a professional in a better position to let us into what actually obtains. Do we have this culture? For instance, I'm aware that the ideal thing is for one to pay 2 visits to a dentist in a year at 6 months interval. Is that practice really enrooted here amongst us as Nigerians?
Well, that's a good one. We can study that. But just like saying general medical checkup, how many people, even once a year or in 2 years, go for general medical checkups, you know? So definitely, it's not really in our culture. We don't usually go when there is no problem. So many people have not imbibed that culture. You know, but at least many people are brushing their teeth. Is
that enough? Is that enough?
No, that can be enough.
That's not enough.
That can be enough. For everybody, that can be enough. For some people, it's okay, but for many more people, there's so many factors. So it's good for one to visit the dentist because, you know, like we say, the mouth is the gateway to the body. When you visit a dentist, you know, the dentist, from looking at the mouth, which is also the mirror of the body, can detect a lot of other problems in the body. From the mouth, for instance, a dentist can pick HIV, can pick diabetes. It's reflected. You can see the signs in the mouth from just saying open your mouth. You can see diabetes, measles, so many things you can see from.
Okay, for those who even are aware of the fact that they need to indulge in certain practices to ensure oral hygiene and good oral health, how accessible facilities? For instance, if I live in a rural area and I want to access oral health care, is it easy for me to access that?
That's a big question because, Nigeria is a big country. We want everyone to be able to access oral health at the nearest healthcare facility, but it's not really practicable because...
Why is it not practicable?
When you look at... No, I'm just telling you that when you look at the resources of government, the population, and, the cost, of, the equipment, the personnel. For instance, we have about less than 5,000 dentists to a teeming population of over 190 million,
which is a far cry from WHO recommendation of 1 to 2,000.
Yes,
that obtains in some developed countries anyway.
Yes, but the government, through the newer policies of government, like the new strategic development plan, we're thinking of, train the people that are available at the health facilities for the basic package of oral health care. At each, facility at the grassroots level, and then refer the ones that cannot be taken care. So that seems to be the thinking of government at this time, so that we should be realistic that this is what we should integrate oral health into the existing facilities, and with time, things will improve. But certainly, there must be activities to integrate oral health. The grassroots.
Even within the urban centers where you have such facilities, affordability is an issue, and I know what I'm talking about.
We're talking about universal healthcare. That includes universal oral healthcare. So that's one of of our thoughts, the new policy we're trying to develop. So basically, with more people coming into the universal health coverage, more people being covered, oral health also will be covered up, so that we wish and we're thinking and we're hoping that more treatment will not be the out-of-pocket treatment, but maybe...
What are those key issues you're really going to prioritize this time? Because I'm aware that there's another policy in the offing.
Yes, there's a draft that we're working on, instigation to existing, programs of government, to existing other health programs, other programs of government. For instance, integration into the national primary health care programs, integration into school health programs, integration into maternal health programs. Because if you educate the mother, that's much, much better. You are educating the whole family, and if you catch them at that stage, a lot of diseases, oral diseases inclusive, will be prevented at that stage. And of course, universal health care coverage. Those are the changes.
Okay. Some experts have said it out there that the feeling with mercury has its health hazards. Can you, let us into that?
Well,
what are the new safer ways of, remedying or deteriorated oral health care?
You see, the issue of mercury, the safety, I wouldn't really want to say that it's not safe, because we've been using dental amalgam for over 150 years in places like America. If it was that bad, we would have had issues coming up. But the major factors are the handling of mercury that is inside dental amalgam. For instance, inside the dental clinic, how is it handled? How is it disposed? And because there's a global trend to move away from mercury use, not only in dentistry, but in other things such as thermometers and all that, and a lot of things. So also because Nigeria is part of a treaty to phase down and phase out the use of mercury and so many things. As far as dentistry is concerned, it's not a phase out, it's a phase down of dental amalgam. We are part of the treaty, and we've also developed a policy on that, a guideline to phase down amalgam use, because especially in susceptible people like pregnant women and children,
yes.
There are other options coming up. Even those studies should show whether they are truly safe also, but that's by the side. It could also be costly, That's why we said, okay, we are just phasing down gradually. It's not as if it's an alarming thing. They say, oh, you're putting mercury in your mouth. No, dental amalgam in mercury is quite latent. It's not, it doesn't, it stays there. It doesn't usually affect the individual. It's usually, like I told you, the handling process. And so we have decided, together with the rest of the world, we'll face it down gradually. And of course, there are other, they may not be as, strong, as durable, and so, but we'll get there. We're still having other options. They're usually white-colored, tooth-colored filling materials.
So what would you say are some of those commonest things that we indulge in as Nigerians that are really detrimental to our oral health?
Well, there have many habits like toothpicks.
Okay.
Toothpicks are not good for you.
We shouldn't pick our teeth.
Yes. Okay. Because usually people tend to increase the pockets, the way they use the toothpicks. It's safer to use the dental floss. It's like a rope. You use it to clean in between. Okay. It's much, much safer to do that. And then, of course, maybe opening the bottle with your teeth, So there's so many little things that we do. But the best thing I would advise is you visit your dentist, so that I will not give you all the tips here. I want you to visit your nearest dental clinic.
Making Nigerians, I had told them that they will have the opportunity.
I've started telling them,
like
and I want them to go to the dental clinic.
Okay.
I want them to go to the nearest dental clinic and chat with the dentist. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's the best I can do, because you have the opportunity to be checked. It's an individual thing.
If all things being equal, I'm aware of how to keep my oral health on point, the best way. For how long can I enjoy the full complement of my teeth?
Really?
Is this as long as?
Yes.
For as long as?
Forever.
At what age? Takes its toll on, does it not affect dentition?
Of course, age takes its toll on every, tissue or organ of the body. Yes. But the tooth is the hardest tissue in the body. So that's why, most people, most countries that are advanced, they use it in detecting bodies from in mass destruction. They usually use their dental
for identification.
Yeah, their dental, profiles. So, you know, so even they survive the worst of burns, the worst of accidents and all that. So that shows you how strongly God has put the teeth. It's meant to last, but because of a lot of habits.
Forensic.
Dental profiling is a major. You know, we should do that too. We should do that in Nigeria. It's just that a lot of habits that we have, you know, we have as human beings now are making the teeth susceptible to destruction, you know. So because of consumption of refined carbohydrates, the carbohydrates now produce, when they are acted upon by microorganisms that are normally domiciled in the body or in the mouth cavity, produce acid. Now, it's the acid produced that usually destroy the hard substance, and that's why over the years, you now have the hole in the tooth.
Okay.
So if we follow the good rules, you know, if you eat good diet, more of vegetables, more fruits, you know, the ideal diet is also good for the teeth.
We'll have to deal with mouth odor. It affects their confidence and all of that. What causes mouth odor, and what's the best way to address it?
Yeah, mouth odor, it's halitosis, like we call it.
Yes.
It can be from the local region, that's the mouth.
Okay.
And it can be from other parts of the body, from the ear, nose, and throat, the sinuses. It can be from the respiratory tract, organs that are close, the system close to the oral, you know, then even from the GIT, you know. So it can be from the whole body. So halitosis, it's a major one, and can also be from the local environments. It can be maybe from stasis of food in the mouth, maybe overhanging feeling, or calculus, you know. Calculus is the hard, you call tartar, the hard dirt that sticks, that has to be removed, you know, with scaling and polishing, and that comes to visiting your dentist twice.
Scaling and polishing,
that's an advantage. It can help you reduce that, and sometimes it's just psychological. So you can now deal with that based on what is the cause. You know, even with a hole in the tooth and stores food
debris,
you know, it will be smelling after a while. So just like, you know, gutter and all that.
Yeah, quite right.
So, you know, when you get that fixed and, you know, filled, it will reduce.
Okay, let's touch on the issue of use of mouthwash. How safe? And at what point, you know, can it become a problem? The use of mouthwash.
Yes. Mouthwash is not supposed to be something you use for a very long time, especially when they are the fabricated ones, you know, because mouthwash can be as simple as salt and warm water. Very good. We prescribe that a lot, you know, especially when there are infections and trauma and all that. You could get over it. It's like a topical antibiotic, you know. It's good for the mouth. Okay. But after a period, it distorts the normal flora, the normal organisms in the mouth. So you don't want to use it for a very, very long time. It's like using antibiotics. You can't use antibiotics forever. So you just want to limit, that's what I would just say, the use of mouthwashes.
Thank you so much for coming on Health Options, Dr. Alonge, as we look forward to a new oral health policy.
Thank you very much.
To go over to the segment where you have the opportunity to watch and, as expected, get enlightened about how to care for your mouth and the other component of the mouth for total oral hygiene.
The basic things that are required in oral hygiene are toothbrushing, flushing of our teeth, and dietary advice. When we are talking about brushing, you need toothpaste, you need toothbrush. Your toothpaste must contain fluoride, depend on your taste. When we talk about the toothbrush, it must be medium grade, unless you are a chronic smoker. When you want to brush, you can divide the part of your teeth into three, like upper one, you can divide it into three regions. You angulate your toothbrush at angle 45 from the gum level. You go down like this. You go down like this, about 4 strokes. You move to another region. You do it the same way from the upper jaw. You go from the gum level at angle 45. You go down about 3 or 4 strokes. You go to the other side the same way, but the lower one from down up, where the upper one from up down. So the lower one, you go from like this, from the gum up, 1, 2, 3. You move to another region. You do the same thing. So you open the mouth now completely. You have to brush. You must ensure you brush all the surface of the teeth, both the grinding surface and inner part of the teeth. And lastly, to prevent mouth odor, you have to brush your tongue very well, and you rinse your mouth with water after brushing. It's compulsory that you must brush twice in a day. Even with the brushing at night is more important than the one in the morning, because when you are asleep, all the activity of the body goes down, and most of the activity of bacteria usually take place at night. Apart from that, you have to see your dentist twice in a year for dental checkup and for professional cleaning. We call it scaling and polishing. We have therapists in the dental clinic that will help you to clean your teeth, because there are some areas you may not be able to clean properly, because most of the dental problems, they do not start with pain. It's when the situation is now getting worse that most of the you start feeling it. Apart from the issue of brushing, we also have something we call dental floss. You need to floss our teeth twice in a day. That one clean in between the teeth. The third aspect is dietary advice. That one is very, very important, because what really causes tooth decay is too much of sugary thing, and the frequency and the consistency of that sugary thing are the major issue there. Mouthwash is also very important, because all those areas your toothbrush cannot go in. The mouthwash can go inside it. It's also reduce the plaque accumulation, that is accumulation of germs on the teeth, to reduce it. The only problem, if you are using it for too long, it may alter your taste. And it's not also proper for you to just change your toothpaste or mouthwash from one to another. You have to consult your dentist or a professional before you do that. The mouth odor is majorly caused by poor oral hygiene, though there are some other causes that can lead to poor mouth odor, like if you have too much blood sugar that is not controlled, if you have caries in your mouth, if you have gum disease, if you have issue or problem of indigestion. So they need to see a professional for advice in that area. The only thing that causes problem in children's teeth is why a child is living in an area that the water contains a lot of fluoride. That one will cause discoloration of teeth. Or if the mother is pregnant and the mother started taking some drug, the mother didn't visit an appropriate professional for medication, maybe she's stooling, she started taking tetracycline, that one can cause discoloration of the teeth in the children. When the baby is still inside the womb, after birth, when the teeth start coming out, the teeth may affect the color of the teeth. Before they celebrate with their 1-year birthday, they need to visit a dentist.
Neglecting oral hygiene comes with a lot of unpleasant consequences. So, if you wish to still be able to go on tearing, biting and chewing your favorite foods and cracking bones with the full complement of your dentition, even at 100 years, you must embrace oral hygiene culture. That's a wrap on this week's episode of Health Options. A quick reminder that you can go to our YouTube channel to watch the upload of these and other episodes of the program. Email us for your comments and contributions at healthoptions@nta.gov.ng. My name is Rabi, Abdallah. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again.
evil practice abolished all over the world over 200 years ago. But today, human traffickers are selling human beings as slaves in Africa. It is your responsibility to make sure that you and the people you know do not fall into slavery. Don't believe fake promises of jobs abroad.
People went to say Libya, Italy no use you when they carry me on top water. 4 days now they lock me for inside house, no food, no water. I nearly die. Now God, when me heaven and earth, now save me. If you get 1 naira for Nigeria, you get junior one, you say you no get papa, you no get mama, now make you come out. I beg go they do farm work. You better pass person when enter road.
Don't accept to travel to Europe through the Sahara Desert. You may be walking into slavery. Don't be a slave.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Along a flyway, seasonally, birds migrate often north and south between breeding and wintering grounds. Many species migrate, and these occur naturally on one hand, even though out of necessity, compelled by other environmental factors on the other hand. This migration carries high cost in predation and mortality, including hunting by humans. Migration is driven primarily by availability of food. It occurs mainly in the northern hemisphere, where birds are funneled onto specific routes by natural barriers such as the Mediterranean and Caribbean seas. Migration dates back to about 3,000 years. Every year, on the 9th of May, the United Nations celebrate World's Migratory Birds Day to create awareness and promote safety of birds that migrate. During flight, some birds become incapacitated and are unable to continue the flight, which explains why sometimes we wake up to the sight of rare species of birds in our compounds. What are we supposed to do should this happen? Globally speaking, in other parts of the world, value is attached to this species of bird, even though that cannot be said about most African countries, Nigeria inclusive, where these birds are hunted down either for food or sold in the market to make money.
NTAE brings you the best of entertainment.
I thought I was being sarcastic.
I went on to do other productions.
Everything music.
To hear which one you sing.
If you look at the platforms of
For a particular product.
They call a new school playing.
That's in the hot we go carry
the hair go come and
got the smell.
Somebody sad, you feel it.
I love you.
Just a little. I know this chop. They are already washed.
To a president.
they depended on Jesus.
What else can I do? Get a shower for and dancers.
Watch these programs and more on NTA Entertainment. NTAE, your one-stop entertainment channel.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at
It's good to have you join.